Alrighty, playoff time. Oh yeah. Playoffs? Yeah, playoffs. And we have two great schools to open up the postseason, you might say. Ladies and gentlemen, the Patriots of Sackets Harbor. The Golden Knights of Copenhagen. Come on for the ride. Welcome to Whiz Quiz.
Production funding for Whiz Quiz is provided by Jefferson Lewis Boces, St. Lawrence Lewis Boces, Jefferson Community College, Samaritan Medical Center, the Northern New York Community Foundation, St. Lawrence Federal Credit Union, and Front Porch Realty. Additional funding is provided in part by the Adirondack Experience, the View Center for Arts and Culture, IBEW Local 910, and O'Reilly Auto Parts of Watertown and Carthage. Scholarships for winning Whiz Quiz teams are provided in part by National Grid, Stewart's Shops, New York Air Brake, Iroquois, and the following fraternal and civic organizations.
Alrighty, folks, welcome once again to Whiz Quiz. It is a pleasure to have you with us. We have two great schools represented here tonight. We're going to meet the contestants in just a moment. I just want to say to you folks out there, thank you for supporting public television. We need your support more than ever. I happen to be a member. I love it. I love the programming on WPBS, and I'm sure you do too. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching. So thank you for being a part of this show tonight. We are going to meet the folks that are competing this evening. First, from Sackets Harbor, and we're talking about a girl who's coming off a couple of big soccer victories, Lily. Hi, Lily.
Hi, I'm Lily Green. I'm a senior at Sackets, and I play soccer.
Very good. Next to Lily is Mateo.
Hi, I'm Mateo Dalpi. I'm a senior, and shout out to PBS for making Whiz Quiz happen.
And by the way, you guys are the self-proclaimed Fantastic Four?
Yes, we are the Fantastic Four.
Very good. Isaiah.
Hi, I'm Isaiah Welch. I'm a senior from Sackets Harbor, and I wore these clothes to a nuclear power plant yesterday.
Very good. Artem.
Hi, I'm Artem. I'm a senior at Sackets, and math is my passion.
Very good. Excellent job. And you happen to have your advisors with us tonight once again. We are happy to have Leanne Montroys and Jonna St. Croix with us. Very good. Alrighty, we're going to move over to Copenhagen and Brenton. Hi, Brenton.
Hi, I'm Brenton Mattis. I'm a senior at Copenhagen, and I play soccer.
Very good. Next to Brenton is Haley. Hi, Haley.
Hi, I'm Haley. I am a senior at Copenhagen.
Very good. Sarah, how you doing?
Hi, I'm a junior at Copenhagen. My name's Sarah, and I play soccer and tennis and softball.
Very good. Not all at once, of course. Sophie.
Hi, I'm Sophie Dealing. I'm a junior at Copenhagen.
Alrighty, and you brought your advisor with us tonight. How about John Kane? Alrighty, folks, let's move right into our first round with Smart Start. Smart Start. The teams are individually asked questions. The other team cannot answer the question. 5 seconds are given to teammates to consult with each other and ring in to give an answer. There's no penalty for a wrong answer. Questions are worth 10 points each. Good luck to both teams. We're going to begin with Sackets Harbor. Which country has the largest population in the world? Mateo, Sackets Harbor.
India.
India is correct. Alrighty, we move over to Copenhagen. History question. Which country has the smallest population in the world? Brenton, Copenhagen.
Vatican City.
Vatican City is correct. Very good. Alrighty, arts question. And we move back to Sackets Harbor. What is the part of writing that tells who or what the sentence is about? Mateo, Sackett's Harbor.
The noun.
No, that is incorrect.
Oh.
We are looking for the subject. The subject. Alrighty. Art's question for Copenhagen. What is the part of a sentence that tells what the subject does? Brenton, Copenhagen.
The action.
That is incorrect. It is the predicate, is what we're looking for. Alrighty, science question. Back to Sackett's Harbor. What is the supercontinent that existed millions of years ago called? Mateo, Sackett's Harbor.
Pangea.
Pangea is correct. Alrighty, science question for Copenhagen. Which layer of the Earth is liquid and creates Earth's magnetic field? Sarah, Copenhagen.
The inner core.
That is incorrect. The outer core is what we're looking for, the outer core. Alrighty, math question for Sackett's Harbor. Pick up your pencils. Solve the equation for x. 5x minus 7 equals 3. Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
X equals 2.
X equals 2
Yeah.
is correct. That's why it's your passion. Copenhagen, math question for you. Solve the equation for x. 3x plus 4 equals 19. Sophie, Copenhagen.
X equals 5.
That is correct. Very good. It's your passion too. All righty. We move back to Sackett's Harbor. History question. Which Great Lake is the largest by volume? Mateo, Sackett's Harbor.
Lake Erie.
That is incorrect. It is Lake Superior. Lake Superior. Alrighty. History question for Copenhagen. Which Great Lake is the smallest by volume? Sophie, Copenhagen.
Lake Ontario.
That is incorrect. Lake Erie. Lake Erie is the smallest. Alrighty. Arts question. Back to Sackett's Harbor. When an actor is performing on stage, what is the actor's right side called? Mateo, Sackett's Harbor.
His right side.
That is incorrect. We're looking for stage right. Stage right. Alrighty. Arts question for Copenhagen. In a theater, set or stage, what is the back of the stage called?
Upstage.
Haley, Copenhagen, that is correct. Upstage. Very good. Alrighty. Science question, we go back to Sackett's Harbor. What law relates voltage, current, and resistance in an electrical circuit? Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
Ohm's law.
Ohm's law is correct. Alrighty. Science question, we go over to Copenhagen. What process explains traits being bred into organisms?
Genetics.
Haley, Copenhagen.
Genetics.
That is incorrect. Artificial selection is what we're looking for. Artificial selection. Alrighty, Sackett's Harbor. Math question for you. Find the missing term. 1, 22, 44, blank, 176. Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
88.
88 is correct. Alrighty. Math question for Copenhagen. Find the missing term. 5, 10, 20, blank, 80. Sophie, Copenhagen.
40.
40 is correct. Alrighty, that's the end of that round. Let's check the scoring right now. And we've got a close one. Sackett's Harbor leads Copenhagen by a score of 50 to 40. Alrighty, now we move on to round 2, one-on-one. One-on-one, each individual player is matched up against corresponding position players on the other team. If a student gets the answer wrong, the opposing student has a chance to answer. No consultation allowed. Questions are worth 10 points each. Alrighty, we're going to begin with Lily and Brenton. History question: who said, "Give me liberty or give me death" during the American Revolution? Time is up. Patrick Henry. Patrick Henry, what we're looking for. Alrighty, Mateo, Haley, we have an arts question for you. What do you call the series of written symbols used to represent music? Mateo, Sackett's Harbor.
Notes.
No, that is incorrect. Haley? Time is up. We're looking for musical notation. Musical notation. Science question: Isaiah and Sarah. What is the name of the molecule that carries oxygen in red blood cells? Time is up. Hemoglobin. Hemoglobin, what we're looking for. Alrighty, math question. Artem, Sophie, find the area of a parallelogram with base 8 and angle 60 degrees with height 5. Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
40.
40 square units is correct. Very good. Alrighty, history question. We go back to Lily and Brenton. What was the primary geographical feature of ancient Greece that influenced its development? Lily, Sackett's Harbor.
Mountain.
Mountains, correct. Alrighty. We've got arts for Mateo and Haley. What is the art technique where paint is sprayed or flicked onto a surface? Haley, Copenhagen.
Splatter painting.
The splattering is correct. Alrighty. Science question. We go to Isaiah and Sarah. What tool measures wind speed? Time is up. An anemometer is what we're looking for. Alrighty. Math question. Artem and Sophie. You earn $1,000 and 12% goes to taxes. How much do you keep? Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
$880.
That is correct, $880. Alrighty, history question, Lily and Brenton. What is the Jewish New Year called? Lily, Sackett's Harbor.
Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa.
That is incorrect. Brenton?
Hanukkah.
No, we're looking for Rosh Hashanah. Alrighty, arts question, Mateo and Haley. What is the term for colors mixed with black to make them darker? Time is up. Shades. Shades, what we're looking for. Alrighty, science question, Isaiah and Sarah. What is the term for the amount of solute dissolved in a solvent? Time is up. Concentration is what we're looking for. Concentration. Alrighty, Artem, Sophie, math question for you. Find the domain of f of x equals 1 over the quantity x plus 4. Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
From negative infinity to -4 and from 4 to to positive infinity, or all real numbers except -4.
That is correct. That's the end of the round. Let's take a look at the score. Right now, Sackett's Harbor leads Copenhagen by a score of 90-50. Alrighty, we move into round 3, know and tell. Know and tell questions are directed at both teams. If a team gets an answer wrong, the other team is permitted to answer. Consultations with team members are allowed. Questions are worth 10 points. The third question in a set is a bonus question that can be answered by either team. Bonus questions are worth 15 points. And we start out with a history question. What empire unified China after the Warring States period? Isaiah Sackett's Harbor.
The Han Dynasty.
That is incorrect. Copenhagen? Brenton?
The Qin Dynasty.
That is correct. All righty. History question. What philosophy was favored by the Qing Dynasty? Lily, Sackett's Harbor.
Taoism.
That is incorrect. Copenhagen? Haley.
Confucianism?
No, we're looking for legalism. All righty. History bonus question. What dynasty followed the Qin and brought a golden age? Mateo, Sackett's Harbor.
The Han Dynasty.
Han Dynasty is correct. Alrighty, arts question. Who wrote the short story, The Lottery? Sophie, Copenhagen.
Jackson.
Shirley Jackson is correct. Alrighty. Arts question. Who is the author of the short story, Hills Like White Elephants? Time is up. Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway. We have an arts bonus question. Edgar Allan Poe wrote this poem about a tragically lost lover kept in a sepulchre. Mateo, Sackett's Harbor.
The Raven.
No, that is incorrect. Copenhagen. Sophie, Copenhagen.
Telltale Heart.
No, we're looking for Annabelle Lee. Annabelle Lee is what we're looking for. Alrighty, science question. What is the term for the path an object follows when thrown into the air? Isaiah, Sackett's Harbor.
It's arc.
No. Copenhagen.
Trajectory.
Sarah?
Trajectory.
That is correct. Projectile. Yep. Science question. What is the term that describes the change in velocity over time? Isaiah, Sackett's Harbor.
Acceleration.
That is correct. Science question. What is the term that describes the change in velocity over time? Isaiah, Sackett's Harbor.
Acceleration.
Acceleration is correct. All right, we have a science bonus question. What is the measure of force called? Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
Newtons.
That is correct, newtons. Math question. What kind of line is x equals 4? Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
Straight line.
That is incorrect. Copenhagen. Sarah.
Vertical.
Vertical is correct. Alrighty, math question. What do we call change in y over change in x? Sarah, Copenhagen.
Average rate of change.
That is correct. Alrighty. Math bonus question. What is the slope of a horizontal line? Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
There is no slope or zero.
0 is correct. We move on. History question. Who was the leader of the Soviet Union during the Cuban Missile Crisis? Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
Nikita Khrushchev.
That is correct. History question. Which U.S. president is credited with the policy of containment during the Cold War? Isaiah, Sackett's Harbor.
President Truman.
That is correct. History bonus question. Which treaty was signed in 1968 to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons? Isaiah, Sackett's Harbor.
Non-nuclear proliferation treaty.
That is correct. Alrighty. Arts. What is the technique of merging two colors smoothly without harsh lines? Isaiah, Sackett's Harbor.
Blending.
Blending is correct. What is the name of a drawing or painting that shows the human body? Lily, Sackett's Harbor.
Portrait.
That is incorrect. Copenhagen. Haley,
Anatomy?
we're looking for figure drawing specifically. Arts bonus. What term means how light or dark something is in a drawing? Haley, Copenhagen.
Shade?
That is incorrect. Sackett's Harbor. Mateo.
Tone.
No, we're looking for value. Value is what we're looking for. Alrighty, let's check the score. And right now, Sackett's Harbor leads Copenhagen by a score of 190 to 100. Alrighty, in case you missed a match sometime during this year or in past years, you can go back a long time. You can watch online at watch.wpbstv.org. Now let's move to round 4. Think fast. In this round, either team can answer a question. If your team gets the answer wrong, the other team gets the next question exclusively. Consultation is allowed. Questions are worth 10 points each. Good luck. History. Leading up to the French Revolution, which estate paid most of the taxes under the old regime? Brenton, Copenhagen.
The third estate.
Third estate is correct. Arts question. What is the musical term for the speed marking slow? Sarah, Copenhagen.
Allegro.
That is incorrect. The answer is adagio. That's what we're looking for. That means that Sackett's Harbor will get an exclusive question. Which group on the periodic table contains the noble gases? Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
18th.
Group 18, that's correct. Alrighty. We have a math question for you. Pick up your pencils. What is the range of f of x equals x squared minus 5? Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
From 5 to infinity, to positive infinity.
That is incorrect. It's all real numbers greater than or equal to -5 is what we're looking for. Alrighty, we have a history question. And it's an exclusive question for Copenhagen. Which famous American wrote the Star-Spangled Banner during the War of 1812? Sarah, Copenhagen.
Francis Scott Key.
That is correct. Arts question. What movement includes art meant to shock or challenge? Time is up. Dadaism is what we're looking for. Science question. The process by which cells take in large particles by surrounding them is called what? Time is up. Endocytosis is what we're looking for. Alrighty, math question for you. What quadrant is angle 300 degrees in? Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
4th quadrant.
4th quadrant is correct. We move on. History question. To oppress someone for their religious beliefs is called what? Time is up. Persecution. Persecution, what we're looking for. Arts question. French author Maupassant wrote this short story about greed and loss, specifically about a lost set of paste diamonds. Time is up. The necklace. The necklace. Science question. What kind of reaction breaks down one compound into 2 or more substances? Brenton, Copenhagen.
Decomposition.
That is correct. Math question. Evaluate cosecant of pi over 2. Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
1.
1 is correct. History question. How many amendments are in the U.S. Constitution? Mateo, Sackett's Harbor.
27.
27 is correct. Arts question. What musical term means to play music loudly? Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
Allegro.
That is incorrect. It is forte. All righty. That means that Copenhagen gets an exclusive question. Divergent plate boundaries created what landform located on the continent of Africa? Time is up. The Great Rift Valley. Math question. Pick up your pencils. What is the range of y equals tangent of x? Artem, Sackett's Harbor.
All real numbers.
That is correct. Very good. We move on. History. What treaty officially ended World War I? Sophie, Copenhagen.
Treaty of Versailles.
That is correct. Arts question. What is the term for the artist's distinctive way of using materials and techniques? Isaiah, Sackett's Harbor.
Style.
Style is correct. Science question. Sinkholes are a characteristic feature of what landscape? Time is up. The karst landscape. And the next question will be our last question for the evening. It's a math question. If a test score is at the 90th percentile, did the student do better than most or worse than most? Brenton, Copenhagen.
Better than most.
Better. Very good. That's the end of our competition. Let's check the final score. Sackett's Harbor has defeated Copenhagen 250 to 150. That means Sackett's Harbor will be moving on to further competition. Join us next time. Norwood Norfolk takes on Lowville. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great night.
Production funding for Whiz Quiz is provided by Jefferson Lewis Boces, St. Lawrence Lewis Boces, Jefferson Community College, Samaritan Medical Center, the Northern New York Community Foundation, St. Lawrence Federal Credit Union, and Front Porch Realty. Additional funding is provided in part by the Adirondack Experience, the View Center for Arts and Culture, IBEW Local 910, and O'Reilly Auto Parts of Watertown and Carthage. Scholarships for winning Whiz Quiz teams are provided in part by National Grid, Stewart's Shops, New York Air Brake, Iroquois, and the following fraternal and civic organizations.